Max Verstappen reveals more info about his talks with Toto. Ferrari reveal who was their first choice between Lewis and Max. And can Lando Norris challenge Max for the title? Do consider subscribing to the channel. Now let's get straight into the latest F1 news. Max Verstappen has failed to put an end to speculation, linking him with a switch to Mercedes. Just 24 hours after boss Toto Wolff revealed he was still in discussions with the Red Bull drivers' management team over the summer. Wolff is close friends with Verstappen's father Jos, and spoke gushingly about their relationship as he continued to pursue the world champion as a replacement for Lewis Hamilton for 2025. Verstappen was initially coy about the meeting when he was quizzed after qualifying for the Dutch Grand Prix, initially saying, "Which meeting?" before adding, "I don't remember." However, when asked by Autosport if it was time for Wolff to move and stop talking about him, Verstappen did not agree. "No, I mean everyone can say what they want," said Verstappen. "I get on very well with Toto. I think he's very open about what's happening within his team, right? Also, I think with the driver lineup and stuff, so there's nothing wrong with that. And at the same time, also, I just focus on my job. There's a lot to do anyway. So, yeah, we just focus on that." Verstappen, who qualified in second place behind McLaren's Lando Norris, was also asked about the Brit's credentials to become a world championship-winning driver. The two are close friends, although that relationship was tested when they collided earlier in the season at the Austrian Grand Prix. Verstappen added, "Lando is very, very fast. I think that's what you need to be. And that's why he's also in Formula One, and why he's performing at the level that he's at. And it will only get better with experience as well, right? I mean, of course I've been fighting for championships probably a bit longer, so you're probably a bit more experienced with that. But at the end of the day, when the team is working well, the car is working well, you're driving well, then it just comes to you as well. So, yeah, I never doubted that anyway." Meanwhile, Wolff was questioned about his slip of the tongue during the same interview, where he spoke about the Verstappens as he appeared to confirm Andrea Kimi Antonelli's promotion to the F1 team for next season. "That's why I don't want to talk about the 2026 driver lineup at that stage, because I want to make it work with George and hypothetically Kimi," Wolff then said. He clarified, "That was all strategy, you know. I said something that might be wrong. We are only announcing next week, so maybe there is a surprise." As for Russell's teammate potentially being confirmed at the Italian Grand Prix next week, Wolff added, "You mean about the second driver? We are giving ourselves a little bit of time. I don't know whether it's days or weeks. It's going to arrive eventually. But that's a good place. That's a really good place. It's a nice circuit. I love the people there. And then we will see whether we enjoy the moment." Ferrari principal Fred Vasseur explained why they took the ideal Lewis Hamilton option over Max Verstappen after Hamilton was recently referred to as the Scuderia's second choice. Hamilton got the latest F1 silly season underway in an early and emphatic manner when his shock F1 2025 switch to Ferrari was confirmed. The seven-time world champion to take the seat currently occupied by Carlos Sainz, who subsequently signed with Williams. Hamilton will therefore find Charles Leclerc as his new teammate. But, while Dutch racer and pundit Tom Coronel referred to Ferrari's Hamilton deal as a masterstroke, he claimed that Hamilton was their second choice, and only Red Bull's three-time world champion Max Verstappen could restore title glory to Ferrari. "I'm really looking forward to Lewis at Ferrari," Coronel told Formula One magazine. "I think it was a masterstroke by Ferrari that they took him, but of course they would have preferred Max. Ferrari can only become world champions with Max. They won't succeed with Hamilton. He is second choice, but better second than third." However, Vasseur, when speaking with Corriere della Sera, talked up Hamilton as the ideal driver for Ferrari, beyond just Verstappen's Red Bull contract, running until the end of 2028, being the reason for choosing Hamilton. Asked why Ferrari signed Hamilton instead of Verstappen, Vasseur replied, "Beyond Max's long contract with Red Bull, Lewis is ideal for Ferrari. For his experience, for the relationship he has with Charles, for his calmness. Earlier in the F1 2024 campaign, it appeared as though Hamilton was at risk of exiting Mercedes off the back of an underwhelming final season for both, but that situation turned around quickly and emphatically, with Hamilton returning to winning ways at Silverstone, his record 9th victory on home soil, before taking victory again in Belgium. Mercedes has won 3 of the last 4 races with the team, and Hamilton silencing any skeptics, though Vasseur was never one of them when it came to Hamilton. Prior to that Silverstone triumph, Hamilton had not tasted victory since the 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. "Never had any doubts," said Vasseur when it was put to him that Hamilton beat the skeptics with his pair of wins. "I always believed it was a question of motivation. As soon as he smells victory, he goes wild. For who knows how long he had Ferrari on his mind, he will give everything. But before then, Hamilton and Mercedes have Ferrari in their sights when it comes to the Constructors' Championship. With 10 rounds to go, Ferrari occupy P3, with Mercedes 79 points behind. Max Verstappen has rejected Helmut Marko's claim that Red Bull have brought downgrades to the RB20 car as the F1 2024 season has progressed. Having produced the most dominant season in history in 2023, winning all but one race as Verstappen eased to a third consecutive world championship, Red Bull had been expected to pick up where they left off in F1 2024. Yet despite starting the season with 4 wins from the first 5 races, including 3 1-2 finishes for Verstappen and Sergio Perez in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Japan, Red Bull's advantage has been shrinking alarmingly over recent months. Although Verstappen continues to hold a 78-point lead over Lando Norris in the drivers' standings, the 26-year-old has been restricted to just 3 wins from the last 9 rounds. Red Bull's advantage over McLaren in the Constructors' Championship, meanwhile, has been reduced to 42 points ahead of this weekend's Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. With a major upgrade package at last month's Hungarian Grand Prix failing to bring in material gain as Verstappen finished a distant 5th, Marko quipped that Red Bull's attempts to improve the RB20 have proven to be downgrades. The Red Bull advisor went on to admit that Red Bull took a wrong turn somewhere with development, with the car now a beater that only Max can tame. Speaking ahead of his home race, Verstappen denied that Red Bull's upgrades have backfired, and teased that Red Bull are aiming to get their season back on track at the Dutch GP. "That's not the case," he said, per Motorsport.com. "But of course you analyze a lot of things, and from there you come up with adjustments. That process starts here in Zandvoort." Verstappen confirmed that Red Bull conducted a thorough evaluation of the RB20 during the recent summer break to get to the bottom of their mid-season slump. He added, "Absolutely, it did happen. We are obviously working flat out on that, and hopefully we will get to see some answers this weekend. From there, we'll go forward, to see what we can still find and what we can improve on the car." Speaking to media including PlanetF1.com, meanwhile, Perez claimed Red Bull did go down the wrong path with the RB20, but found a lot of stuff during the mid-season review. He said, "It was always a very positive break for Red Bull. We were able to find a lot of stuff, and I think at least we know where we are with the car right now. There's been an upgrade or two that probably took us in the wrong path. I think, just looking back at it right now, we know exactly how the car is working, which is a very good thing because I think it was not so clear in the last few races. Whether we can fix it and get back to the level we had earlier, that's another question. But I think in that regard, it's very positive." Toto Wolff has dropped the biggest hint yet that Andrea Kimi Antonelli will replace Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes in F1 2025, with the team no longer waiting for something to happen with Max Verstappen. And he has teased that the team will soon confirm George Russell's F1 2025 teammate, amid mounting speculation that Mercedes will announce the signing of Antonelli ahead of next weekend's Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Mercedes have been searching for a replacement for Hamilton since the 7-time world champion announced in February that he will join Ferrari on a multi-year contract from F1 2025. The Brackley-based team have been linked with an ambitious move for Verstappen over recent months, with Wolff making no secret of his desire to sign the reigning 3-time world champion from Red Bull. With Verstappen now expected to stay at Red Bull for at least F1 2025, Mercedes are set to promote junior sensation Antonelli, after reports earlier this month claimed the teenager has signed a contract to succeed Hamilton and is set to be confirmed in the build-up to his home race in Italy. Mercedes declined to comment when approached by PlanetF1.com. With Verstappen under contract with Red Bull until the end of the 2028 season, Wolff appears to have conceded defeat in his pursuit of the Dutchman, revealing the team decided to stop waiting for something to happen before finalizing their F1 2025 driver pairing. And he hinted that the boy wonder will be announced as Hamilton's successor shortly, with the Mercedes boss keen to make it work with Russell and Antonelli. "We will soon confirm who will get the second place at Mercedes," said Wolff per Motorsport Total. We came to the conclusion together in the summer that we should not wait for something to happen before we commit to 2025. I wanted to work with George and Kimi. Antonelli, who will turn 18 on the day of the Dutch Grand Prix on Sunday, has commenced an extensive F1 testing program this year to prepare for a likely Grand Prix debut, driving previous Mercedes F1 cars at such circuits as Silverstone, Imola, the Redbull Ring, and Spa. After a challenging start to his maiden F2 season with Prema in 2024, the Bologna-born driver has come to the fore over recent weeks, claiming his first victory in the F1 junior category at Silverstone last month, 24 hours before Hamilton ended a 945-day winless streak in the British Grand Prix. Antonelli followed that up with another victory in Hungary, with it emerging earlier this week that the teenager will drive Hamilton's car in opening practice at Monza next weekend. Speaking to media including PlanetF1.com at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix in May, Hamilton gave his blessing to the signing of Antonelli, having made his own F1 debut in a race-winning McLaren, aged 22, back in 2007. Hamilton said, "Honestly, I have no idea what Toto's plans are, but for me, taking on a youngster would be the right move. If it was my job, my role, I'd probably take on Kimi." Lando Norris's self-critical comments about his level of driving have been addressed by McLaren boss Andrea Stella. After making quite a few errors which have cost him points and positions in the first half of the F1 2024 championship, Lando Norris was quite self-critical in assessing himself as he spoke to the media on Thursday at Zandvoort. While Norris became an F1 Grand Prix winner for the first time by claiming victory in Miami earlier this season, the British driver has admitted he believes he's made one too many mistakes and cost himself a few too many points in the battle with Max Verstappen. Starting the second half of the season in second place in the Drivers' Championship, 78 points behind Verstappen, a prime example of the type of errors that have crept in was seen at the Belgian Grand Prix when Norris ran wide out of Turn 1 and touched off the gravel all by himself. Losing positions as a result, Norris was doomed to come home behind Verstappen at the checkered flag. "In the first half of the season, I have not performed at the level of a world champion. Simple as that," Norris told media, including PlanetF1.com at Zandvoort. "At times I have, many races I have, but little things have let me down along the way, and those are things I can't afford. In the last few races, I have not been at the level I need to be at. I'm not going to be happy if I'm not performing at the level that I need to do to beat Max, Red Bull, and the drivers that I need to be beating. I'm still very happy with how the season's gone, but just one too many mistakes and a few too many points given away, which is not the level I need to be at if I want to fight for a championship at the end of the day and to fight against a driver like Max. So there are plenty of things I've looked into and I've tried to work on and get stronger." With most of Norris's issues coming on the first lap of races, the McLaren driver said he's focused on trying to improve this area. "There's not a single thing I need to change, but honestly, the start and lap 1 are where most of my opportunities have gone away from me," he said. From lap 1 onwards, generally, the races have been very strong and the race pace has been good. Strategies I've been very happy with, so there are so many strong things that are always overshadowed by having a bad start or a bad turn 1 or being a bit safe at times trying to stay out of trouble. Norris is known for being quite critical of himself on track, and McLaren boss Andrea Stella said his driver's comments heading into the weekend at Zandvoort merely underline this facet of his personality. "The first thing I make of his comment is it confirms his style. He's quite self-critical," he said. "He tends to look occasionally at the half-empty part of the glass. In reality, I think he definitely has the potential of a world champion, and he's performing at world championship level. If we compare against perfection, then definitely we have opportunities. But I like that we compare ourselves against perfection, because this is what we need to do. And I've been very encouraged that every little opportunity has been actually analyzed in a great level of detail." Lando has always been very open and transparent, like he is with the public, definitely with the team, and we are together in trying to nail and polish all the possible situations in which we need to be better at delivering, according to the potential. So definitely world championship material, like in everything. Lando, Oscar, the entire team, every single opportunity to improve needs to be attacked with determination to improve. I don't think in terms of driving itself. For speed, consistency in the race, we are not far at all. I think, if anything this year, there have been more opportunities coming in some specific racing situations, like the start and the first lap. Sometimes we have lost some time in the race, just in this initial phase of the race, and then we kind of recover thanks to the pace that we had later on. So it's quite specific, and we've definitely been working on trying to improve it. Stella, who has previously worked with Michael Schumacher, Kimi Räikkönen, and Fernando Alonso during a long and successful career, said he has no doubts that Norris possesses all the qualities a world champion needs. Lando is definitely world championship material, he said. He performs already at levels that I've seen in the past in some of the great champions I have the luck to work with. We definitely have something to clean on the starts, which is not only the driver, but is also team responsibility. I think he had a couple of situations in the races in which he might have taken some of the responsibility, but I think it was the team's responsibility, like Canada, a case in which we didn't pit Lando for the late safety car before the pit entry, or if I think about Silverstone and the final stint, that's the team responsibility. If the team had operated at higher standards, then Lando would have more points in the championship. And definitely, as a team, we appreciate that he puts some of the pressure on himself, or he raises his hand and says like it was on me, but I think I have enough experience to say, mate, don't worry. That's on the team. Definitely, we as a team have quite a lot of work to do as well. Asked whether Norris's potential is enough to win this year's title, Stella was pragmatic in his answer. He can win world championships, that's a statement, that's capital letters, he said. In terms of this year's championships, certainly we don't give up. Numerically, from a driver's championship point of view, it looks like there's a big gap to fill, and we are chasing Max Verstappen, so definitely he is not going to make it easy for us, but we are excited to be in this position. Definitely, Lando is not in this position because somebody helped him. Lando is in this position because he performs very strongly, and that's something that we should acknowledge and realize in terms of his achievements, not only in terms of the opportunities in a season in which he could have done better, because this is normal. And this is normal for every world champion in every season.